I had another mom at the school tell me that she was going to show me how to be a madame, how to be an old guy's wife, how to be an Indies wife specifically. Specifically that. That's, my dress, and, I had to step up my game, and I was just like, okay, I'm American. I come in shorts, I come in t-shirts, I'm not coming to drop off my children in the latest runway fashion. I'm coming
which all of them were doing.
Yeah. Okay. We won't say anything.
Yeah. Yes. But that's what happened.
So that in itself was a type of classism.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That was a type of classism right there.
Before people found out that you were MD's wife, did they treat you? Some of them looked down at you. Did you perceive that or?
Yes.
So I mean,
they
think you're one of the house help.
No.
Until
they were probably thinking, ExxonMobil, one of these people who will come in and just be here for a few years, and then she parked herself at our Nigerian mom's table, You
made a conscious decision.
I made a conscious decision
to want to integrate.
I'm sitting here with the contingent of Niger moms. I don't even know you. I'm going to bust in.
You made that decision when you arrived in Nigeria?
I had to. Before I arrived.
Okay.
Before, in fact.
So it wasn't like you were going to get to Nigeria and just hang out with your American colleagues?
I mean, those were the people that I knew first.
Yeah.
Mainly because they were oil people and,
oil and gas. And
that kind of thing. But once you get to school, they're in their group. I'm mixing with everybody.
So it's so important to mix with people. Really, you can't stay in your own corner and expect people to change towards you if you don't mix with them.
Right. But I remember making a conscious decision. I'm married to a Nigerian. I need to understand what is going on here.
Absolutely.
And so I'm going to park myself at these tables.
Yeah.
And
it goes back to what we were talking about when we were talking about the ghettoization, when people
just stick to their own and not try to.
That is not me.
Yeah.
But this process had started way before. In fact, I had to get to this point from marriage counseling that this could be a possibility, and in the marriage vows, where you go, I will go.
Yeah, I remember you told me
that. Your people will be my people.
Yeah.
And your food, my food.
I don't know about
everything.
that.
Everything. I really want to get your perspective on the food, but we'll wait until later for that.
So, so like I was saying, but that part was a classism in and of itself. And then dealing with the drivers, they showed me a few things about themselves, and I had to get to a point where I just said, listen, Marionette, if you're going to really understand how people work
and survive in
this environment, you're going to have to be a lot tougher. I didn't like doing that. I didn't like having to shout. I didn't like having to put somebody in their place. When I was nice, they tried to take advantage.
Yes,
which is true. I totally agree with that. And that's something. Why do we have that though?
It's just the way the system is.
I can't tell you how.
I'm just like
but it's the system. It's just the system. You're nice to them. I've been in a situation where I've changed. I know what drivers have done to me.
But you understand that before, and I understand it's a system, but you know that how people look down at them even from the beginning. So if you have someone that's freshly coming into a service job, trying to be nice, and you have a madam that's already very mean. After a while,
I was not very mean. I was very nice.
So let's give an example.
And then they showed me.
Funny enough, the only time you can survive and have peace of mind and sleep well is if you are mean.
I disagree with that.
I'm telling you.
I think you have to know who you're dealing with.
That is the thing.
I used to think, look, meanness, there are levels of meanness. There are some meanness that I do not think that you should.
Yeah, I'm not beating anybody.
Exactly. But there's a level there's a level as if you come from authority that you must exert, that you would not exert if you were here.
Right.
Yeah, but the reason why it's like that, and I think so, and I don't know let someone prove me wrong, is there's this mentality of Oga, which is the boss, and the help,
that's not
the house. And I'll tell you what.
But there is that.
No, yes, but yes, it is.
So let me tell you what happens. You will, even if they are nice, they will have other people who have had bad experiences telling them you better be careful. Don't mind them. They're all, they all talk to themselves.
No, but it goes beyond that. It's a dog-eat-dog world. They come from a dog-eat-dog world. It's a survival of the fittest. You could have been. Look, I have a friend who they built a house for his driver. They sent his kids to school, very nice and everything. When he was going to disappear with the guy's $100,000, he did. After years. $100,000.
But that can happen even here.
No, but come on.
It's just like you know the difference.
Come on. You see, my sister is. Somebody always think that you're a bit of a pacifist.
It's not a matter of pacifist. The reason why it will not happen is that they can find you. There are some things
they found him as well.
But it's easier. No, let's face it. If anything, here before you think of anything, you're thinking of the repercussions. Sometimes.
The only reason why I think that I survived with one nanny. Now, I went through a string of drivers because one thing I'm not going to suffer is a driver.
What was that guy's name? I used to wear a car.
I don't even remember their names. Oh, Denson is the only one that I remember.
No, the one that used to wear a car. The last one. The last one.
Oh my God.
From
GE.
Yes. That guy. So, let's just think about the culture shock you still. We've talked about.
The culture shock was non-existent for me,
you.
really.
Wow.
Because I was ready to dive in. I mean, I
ready to become one.
Yeah, I was ready to go where no man had gone before. Please excuse the way my pronunciations are terrible.
We will let you go with that one. Ekpe.
I can't. I don't have that. Forget it. There's no way. Okay.
Yeah.
I will go there to buy fish with me and the driver.
Did you price
care? And in fact, I left one girl standing there. She was ready to fight me because someone over here had better price. Me, you say this. She says this. Bye. And I'm going here.
So, no, I really need to know this. Do you like bargain with them?
I tell them, I am your wife. I am your EOO. So don't come and give me one Oyinbo price. Don't dare try it.
When did you actually pick that up when you first got into Nigeria?
What, EOO?
No, how to banter.
I don't know.
How to battle?
I mean, I had to go in.
Battle with them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was my driver.
You see?
It was my driver, Denson. Because he would go with me to the market. I would see how people were doing. I didn't watch the white people because I knew they were being cheated.
To be a black woman, so you're just a black woman from anywhere. So just okay. All right.
And I made friends with. the boys who carried your stuff. So they were looking out for me. My driver was looking out for me. If they started talking bad about me, my driver would just say, "Madam."
So I'm going to pull this up. You know what? How you treated them, they may not have lasted because they were not used to being treated nicely, but they appreciated and paid you in a way and protected you in a way.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, even to this day, I'll go to that same market. That boy will still be there.
Yeah. But having said all that, I'm very interested. You said it was the seriousness about how you perceive how Nigerian men and their wives are and what the shock. Because I remember there was a time we discussed this, and you said when you came back to Nigeria, what you used to go out in Chicago and South Carolina. You used to do things every Sunday.
Interesting.
And then suddenly when you came back to Nigeria, you just could not ever understand how we'll go to parties and we're by ourselves talking to other, and then and how did you manage that transition?
Very poorly.
Yeah.
Poorly. I think that I coined the phrase because I got to a point where people people who were in the States who were about to marry Nigerians, I was getting phone calls. And can you talk to so-and-so and so-and-so? And I quite frankly told them, I said, you have to get ready for what I call the flip. The flip is the very American, very hands-on, very,
Go to school together, go to after school club, take them to see.
Exactly, take them out. In fact, while they were saying, don't call it babysitting, they are my children, blah, blah, blah. Okay,
Wait now. So when my man got to Nigeria.
And then we get to Nigeria and it was great the first year.
Or is that hanging out?
If I could cluck, I would cluck.
Until hanging out with we
But that's so funny because that's how we grew up. So I don't know,
No, we didn't grow up. I didn't grow up like that. I saw it, but I didn't grow up like that. I was totally rebellious. And
but mom and dad were like that.
Yeah, but I thought
they
that
were
was
always
boring.
together.
I thought they were boring. It's the truth. I'm saying. I still keep saying it. They were boring. It worked for them, good, but they were boring. Very,
so
very
maybe
boring.
they were Americans in Nigeria.
Yes, I'm telling you, they went everywhere together, and I disliked it, and up till now I still think that was so boring.
But they remained together,
and they were so happy.
There are other people that still remain together now.
And I can't.
This is where this is
where all that nonsense happens about somebody stepping out on the side, doing all sorts. Because I'm sorry, that type of behavior breeds that.
Thank you.
Okay? But you have this in every society, though.
Not as bad.
No.
Thank you.
In Nigeria, it's like the norm.
You see?
This is.
I told you, we were having that argument. We were having that argument before you came. I told you.
And I brought it up deliberately because myself, I remember one day Marionette Quicks came back home and told me, because we used to talk every evening.
Yeah, we talk.
Every evening. And she just said to me, one thing she just cannot understand is, how come you guys just have to do your own thing? That when she came, like the shock she had when she came was, this was my husband that we used to go and do everything every Saturday, Sunday, Friday. Now, he just, and I remember, and I said to him, I don't, you're saying the same thing, that this was not what she envisaged when she was getting married to anybody.
But
that
we have a different culture. And I don't know whether it's a culture.
It's a culture.
Okay.
It's a culture. It may be a Nigerian culture, but even I think it might be even an African culture. From the standpoint of there are things that women do.
Yeah.
And there are things that men do.
And that's true.
And the time that you come together is when you're trying to have a baby.
Yes.
Other than that.
Because if you think about it, even making money.
Yes, now.
If they feel you are too close to your wife, and I bring this to my dad was cut off from a very, very extremely powerful man who was his second cousin, which you know. Mm-hmm. He was cut off from him because at the time he was in power, because mom said, don't do something, and that man took it against my dad that you are letting one woman tell you not to do something.
It's a cultural thing.
He did that.
But my parents, and I always skipped.
But I hated it. I thought it was. I didn't like. He worked for them.
So,
but I thought it was crazy.
And I told him, I felt if dad and mom and dad had called him and like, listen, and he had asked you, I don't know if he was able to ask that, why did you not do this deal?
No, they ask for what the.
That's what I'm saying.
But because the man is not nothing to do with.
But I'm saying you were thinking so, but he made a choice for himself and he was happy with it till death.
Yeah, but we're talking about the cultural aspect of
things. The cultural aspect is what you're talking about. The cultural aspect is this. If you're married to a Nigerian and you have to understand the fact that you're right. Men, it's almost like there's a men's club. It's a not, you that's the time you do your deals. But when you're by yourself, that's the time you have your meetings.
Right.
If they think that your wife, except you're not doing anything at all.
You have been in the men's club. What is it that they talk about in the men's club that the wife?
Why would I want to talk about it?
Exactly. That's the point. If your deals are purely deals, networking deals.
That
is why they are called deals.
Stepping.
That's why they are called deals.
There are a lot of stepping.
That is
and I feel that
I disclaim that.
whatever you want to say, that
come and I disclaim
feel
that
this because you don't want anyone to make you think you're not part of the club.
No. It's not because of that. I disclaim that. Things could happen.
And she was like that. So yeah,
and it's up to the women to kind of go with the flow of things, okay? But initially he did things the GE way, and he paid for it. He paid for it.
I know.
He paid for it.
He lost a lot. We know what happened.
I mean, he paid for it. He needed to.
He had to Nigerianize.
Yes, he had to Nigerianize.
Nigerianize me.
He had to.
Is this something we can say on camera?
No.
Okay.
We won't go any further.
I don't even know what they're talking about. That's what you say. Nigerianize. We are descent.
No. This is what happened. He came to Nigeria as an expat business person.
I remember I used to abuse him in those days.
Okay, as an expat person.
Yeah.
Trying to do things
the right way.
The right way.
So are you saying Nigerianize is the wrong way?
I'm not saying. What I'm saying is there are certain nuances in doing business in Nigeria that you must take into consideration. And if you are not willing to incorporate some of that, and I'll give you one story. They were building a training center or something in Port Harcourt.
Port Harcourt, yes, I remember that, yeah.
And, you have to get permission from the chiefs and all this stuff. And the chiefs had a list of things they wanted. My husband went and told them that, no, not in the States. His people were in Italy at the time.
Yes, Italy, yes. That's
that this is what they say they want. One guy said to my husband, "Oh, well, I think I have a couple of bottles of that." My husband's like, "No. Cases. And they want the village boys hired. They want this and this and that.
So there's a difference between negotiation.
No, listen.
No, it's not negotiation. It's not negotiation.
Listen,
it's the way
listen to this.
that business is done. Just like I had to, if I was going to be friends with people, if I was going to thrive in this new environment, I had to let go of some stuff. Mm-hmm. That
pretty much was normal, but in Nigeria it's not normal.
I think my question is this, and I want us to be as frank as we can be, given, there's a difference between nuances and things being done maybe not the best way. I feel sometimes in Nigeria we do things not the best way a lot of times, and that is to the detriment of Nigerians. Take it or not.
That's why Nigerians. No,
you're right.
That's why we complain.
Yes.
We complain.
Yeah.
We can sense as soon as you hit Nigerian airspace.
Yeah.
Which is
there is a shift.
Everything changes
in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a shift that happens in your mind that once
as you land, you got aggression starts. Everything changes.
Yeah.
Whatever you were doing back someplace else is not going to work here.
And that goes back to what I was saying. The reason why our so Nigerian women understand Nigerian men. Not that it's a good thing, but it is what it is. When you're a foreigner that ends up marrying a Nigerian,
you better learn quick.
Yes, because otherwise
you're done.
No, because if you don't, that is a very short-lived marriage.
But it's for both ways. He has to learn some things about you too.
No, but
not in Nigeria.
No, stop that nonsense. He already learned what he needed to learn when he was in the States.
Exactly.
When I was in the I learned it. But once I had moved to Nigeria.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing though.
No, but I agree with you. But what I'm saying is
trying to say that yes, you had to let go of the things.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm afraid of us stereotyping. Because in as much
this is not stereotyping.
Let me say that.
Just reality.
No. In as much as we have some nuances, we have to be careful that we don't turn them to stereotypes. Because even within the Nigerian culture, there are different
listen, they are.
Like my parents were different.
Your parents are the minority. Instead of, you know what the definition of, that's why I say you Americans don't understand English. What is the definition of stereotype? Look at it. A stereotype is people that behave or certain behaviors regularly.
But that is what we dislike here. Okay, so let's bring it back to here in America. We accuse people. Why do they stereotype blacks or whites or?
Yeah, but that's in America. We're talking about
where we have free speech and all that. But even
we don't have free speech in Nigeria.
You don't.
There's no free speech.
You will suffer for your free speech.
You don't have that. We can say what we want here. It's only now that the current inhabitant is now starting to turn things on its head.
But we have to, because some of these things, some of it is not paying us. I mean, there's some nuances that, is cultural and there's nothing wrong with it. You just need to understand it. But there's some things you just have to change.
But this is the thing. What you're talking about, there's the cultural, and there's the political.
Yes.
And one thing that I did pride myself on is if I was going to really understand how things worked, I needed to understand the political aspect of Nigeria.
Yes, absolutely.
And I got every newspaper.
You read everything.
Punch, Business Day, Guardian, cover to cover.
She knew everything.
So that
trust me, she knew it didn't matter what was happening.
I could converse.
I swear
with
she would tell you. She was telling me about news that. But then, how did you know this?
One thing that you said that made Nigeria beautiful for you, on most part of it, was because you decided to learn about them and to be part of them. So
she learned to take the good and the bad.
Yeah, you learned exactly. And that's what we have to do everywhere we go to, whether Australia, Nigeria, or China. Really.
Yeah.
So that's
the nuances about the male female relationship. It's something that is not going to. It might change.
I think it's changing. It's changing because parents are teaching their kids differently.
Also, women are not afraid to leave the men now.
That is what is changing.
That part.
And it is you people.
That part.
It is people like you that went to Nigeria. It's the African Americans. That's what. And
I
social
have no
media.
influence on any of that.
People like you that you.
There are not enough of us to change that. I think that things change because I can remember things changed. For instance, when if you wanted to open up a bank account, you had to have your husband's name, signature, blah blah blah.
So there was women empowerment.
And that's what has changed.
That is true. That was
and so people had to.
What?
Yes, they're so dependent on the men to leave.
In fact, let me tell you one story. We were, had our money. I don't even know what bank it was. Let's not even bring it in. But what bank it was. And we were, you had to transfer your dollars into a dom count.
Yeah.
Okay? The money was there. You got the alert that the money was there.
I remember this. I think I remember this.
And it is your money. It is not the bank's money. It is your money until you take it out. So I go to the bank. Madam, we can only let you have this amount of money.
Your own money or my own money?
That's when I switched to African American. I said, let me tell you something. If you want to see African American, my neck will roll so hard. In fact, you will, and I said this to the guy, you will wish that there were armed robbers here. Because by the time I have finished.
That was a Nigerian thing, that's a Nigerian thing too now.
By the time I have finished, that's what you will wish would have come here. Now, they were giving me one story. I said, and my husband was in Abuja at the time in one meeting. I said, I don't care. This is his number. You call him, you get him on the phone right now. I want my money. This is my money. It is not your money. You can't come here and tell you. I walked out with my money.
But Oingo is right. That also is Nigerian in you.
Is the Nigerian?
You're like my own money in this place.
You are not serious.
No, but it's true that it's true that the those kind of things happen. How did you? What about your friends? Done that because because you've now been back. I know you're moving back to Nigeria at some point, but you've not been back for about 3 years. How have you? What happened when you
left Nigeria?
You left them. What are the differences that you realize that you think to yourself, I'm so different from them now? I can't.
When you
reconnected, diaspora
back. Now you're Nigerian.
Okay, so number one, when I came back, and I've been back here in this country for 7 years.
Is it 7 years?
7 years.
Damn, that's a lot.
2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So it'll be 7 years next year.
It doesn't look like it is. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
It is like
7 years. I came back in 2013. I told the kids, I said, let me tell you something. We are here. This household will be run like the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is not my home. I have come back specifically for you to do the school thing.
Yeah.
And that is it. Once I am done,
returning.
I'm back to Nigeria. And I will say this, God forbid if it wasn't me and him. Because I built a life there. I feel as though I had built such a life there that I don't need him to now open doors for friendships, to go here, to go there.
Yeah.
I've made my own way.
Because you became part of them.
Yeah. So coming back here, I never let myself get comfortable being here. In fact, while it was like, year 2 or something like that, shall we buy something? No! We're not buying anything
I'm going back
for
to
what? House in DC, house in South Carolina. Now you want house here. I understand. Well, wealth creation, blah, 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 blah.
I want to go back
wealth in Nigeria. Let me own property in Nigeria. My name is on this thing, right? My name is on this thing, right? Yes, now.
So that pool is that being Nigerian.
I never let myself come back here thinking.
And still. So what happened to your friends here that you used to have? What happened to them?
Most of them I don't even.
Yeah.
Because one of them, I should be sadder than I am. This person was very close. Very, very close. And she made one comment about my husband because of his position in the church when we left the States to go to Nigeria. And Nigeria church is a whole nother different thing.
Please don't let us go there.
It's a whole
Don't let us go there. Don't let us go there.
You know, and it's not easy to dive into that one as it is to the culture. Okay?
Sad, but it's true.
And so this person made a comment, you know, he's abandoned God, blah, 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 you know, da, 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 da.
Why am I not surprised?
I just said, okay. And that was the end of that friendship. We tried to settle things, blah, 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 but it
never was the
same. I had to move on. So most of those people, in fact, I don't even go home. If my mother, DC, Maryland. If it wasn't for my mother, in fact, I'm very lazy there too. I should be ashamed of myself. But I don't go because, you know.
It's not home anymore.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. You know, and I just have never allowed myself to even think that, you know, this is, no. In fact, people say, when is your husband coming? Is he coming? Blah, blah, blah. People at the church that I attend now, is your husband coming? For what? Come back here and do what? 9 to 5, kill himself.
Okay, so I have a question, and it's more of a, based on your experience, what would you advise anybody, Nigerian, Ghanaian, anyone trying to relocate to another country?
It depends on where you're going to relocate to. You know, like you're talking about you know,
maybe
someone
coming
from,
here, maybe coming to the US or coming to.
Doesn't matter. Just being a diaspora. Just being a migrant.
I think immerse yourself. I mean, even if you have to go to, even if you go to some place as bad as, and I shouldn't say as bad, but
totally
as
different,
culturally challenging as
Afghanistan. No, that
or
one.
Saudi Arabia, or even Abu Dhabi, where
totally
the culture
different.
exactly. Do your best to immerse yourself.
But what if I do my best to immerse myself and I don't come back to my? Because right now you're not back to your senses.
Because she hasn't decided.
You're full Nigerian.
No, but you know why? Because she wants to go back to Nigeria. And she knows.
No, I'm not saying that there's anything bad, but I'm saying that now, if an African look, the way I look at it, for me as my take on Nigeria.
See.
Is I have
so you're like swapping places.
Exactly. I have very little. She knows I have very little tolerance for their bullshit, for their BS. I have such
excuses
little
grammar.
But what you're saying now is that, which I have done, is that anybody that's now moving from Nigeria, say, to Atlanta, should start to
immerse
themselves. You see,
no, but
that's what they're saying.
If you need to enjoy someone, you have to immerse yourself.
That's it. I mean, you know, you have to do that. You have to do that, and and granted, it's easier coming here to do that coming here.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier.
I don't think so.
Oh, don't look. That's a whole nother can of worms we can't even go to because you know.
Is it possible because you grew up here? And I understand I know some of the challenges, but I feel like part of the problem is that, you know, you're leaving somewhere that's so comfortable. You know,
let me tell you something. Some of the people who come here from Nigeria, they're more well off than the African Americans that are here.
True. That's correct.
So you're coming here. You were allowed here because they checked your bank accounts. They know that you're able to pay.
Have the potential.
Exactly. So your ability to come in and do things is a lot better than a house help coming.
True.
Or, you know,
so because of the education that we have, we're able to integrate better.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It's been great. It's been great.
And
we will have you back. We have a lot of things that we'd like to
and especially we want to talk about the kids and how they and what they are because they would say their stuff and you would say your stuff, but I know that we're going to do this very soon. But the one thing I just want to talk about is don't listen to whatever they said about Nigerians. Man, that's how we are.
Please, I beg.
And she won't be going back if it was that bad.
They know themselves.
I don't know what he was talking about because I know my parents were not like that.
Who's your parents? That's
Who's your parents?
That's your parents.
I don't know. God just loves him specially. I don't understand.
They're Nigerian.
All right, thank you guys. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.